Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard, the best television show not on TV. Man, shout out to the Giants community, man. Definitely a lot of interesting conversations today on Twitter, man. We definitely had a blast chopping it up, man, talking quarterback, talking offense, talking weapons, talking drops. Salute to all of y'all, man. Salute to the homie BT Giants one time, too, for providing a lot of that 22-man cam footage we were breaking down. And Dan Schneider was also over there wrapping it up with us, too. Apologies if I butchered his last name as well. But we also got the Eagles headed to MetLife this week to take on our New York Giants. The Washington Commanders are on a bye. And I know they hoping them Eagles come to MetLife and take care of business. You got the Texans headed just across the state to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And tonight on Thursday Night Football, we got the Raiders headed to L.A. to take on those Rams one time. That's going to be an interesting matchup of two teams we thought was going to be in the mix, but don't look like they're in the mix actually. But without further ado, let me bring in the best co-host in the country, the strong side to the left side, my brother, your brother from another, with the fresh Beavis and Butthead shirt on today. The Beard is in the building. What's going on, fam?
Man, listen. Do you know? I don't know if you remember this. I'm sure you do, because you're a pretty smart guy. You're authentic. But there were times when we would do this show when I was on a bye week, and I'd be like, man, we are underdogs against the bye week. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
like,
I know it feels good to not be there.
To have a bye week and not be like, man, we suck, sort of feeling like, you know, like even the bye week, you just feel like crap. That's a win. That's a win in my book.
That's
so we're winning against the bye week this year.
I pray for y'all that, like, you know, none of your players had to, like, let's say Ocean City, Maryland, try to go parasailing, or maybe hop on a Sea-Doo, you know, and do something foolish and maybe, you know, hand injury, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure we're dialed in. You know, we got some guys that are banged up too. So it's interesting because, you know, the season is 18 weeks now. So it's, you know, 17 games, 18 weeks. So the bye week in week 14, it's like, you know, it's kind of interesting to feel like, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like, would you prefer to have your bye week earlier in the season? You know, so there's always those sort of conversations. But, you know, it allows me an opportunity to kind of sit back late in the season and kind of really dial in on some of these games that, you know, have significant meaning as far as the playoff scenarios go. You know, obviously, you know, Seattle is playing Carolina. You guys are playing the Eagles, you know, and then try to find some ways that I can hate on the Dallas Cowboys a little bit more for my friends like Mark Primetime. You know,
I saw Mark Primetime, you know, really coming for you in the chat. You know, you got to keep it a little bit balanced. But some of the people in the chat were agreeing with you, so maybe you were making some points there. I don't know, but me and you were in. You was over there, I was over there on that one. It was definitely left side and the other side.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting week here, obviously. And then, look, I want to know, everybody in the chat, okay, make sure y'all keep me posted. I'm going to have my phone on, but, you know, it's hard for me to, you know, I don't want to miss anything like I did last episode trying to read something in the chat, okay? But I need to know if Baker Mayfield is going to be starting that quarterback today, because my man just got to L.A. yesterday, right?
And they were talking about Mr. Irrelevant coming in last week. I saw the after the game speech that the coach made, and they shouted him out. I forget the dude's name, but he was the last pick in the NFL draft.
Oh, you talking about for San Francisco?
For San Fran, yeah. I always keep doing that with Baker.
Yeah,
we talking L.A. We talking L.A.
Brock Purdy was
Brock
Mr.
Purdy,
Irrelevant,
so I'm talking about for San Fran, yeah. Is Brock Purdy getting a start 100%?
Over Josh Johnson?
Yeah.
I'd imagine so. I mean,
is Jimmy G out for the year, or is he? Because I saw on Pat McAfee, they had a clip that said he was out for the year, but you know how Pat McAfee, they like to run some old clips sometimes.
I'm pretty sure well, he's definitely out for the remainder of the regular season. They did say that his foot there was no Liz Frank, okay?
Yeah, so no surgery.
You know, so the thing is there's a possibility that he could be back in 7 weeks, which would be, if they make it, it would be in time for the divisional playoff game.
Damn, so they just got to roll with Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson to try to make this run here. That really, the timing of that injury is awful.
And you want to know what's crazy? They're playing Tampa Bay, right? Okay, and I was gonna save this one for you know, the parlay, but I'm gonna throw it out there right now. Yeah. Tom Brady is 7-0 after week 5 when playing against the number 1 defense and number one scoring defense in his career.
That's an interesting little nugget right there. That's a little misshaped nugget. A boot.
Yeah.
It's a boot nugget.
It's a boot nugget, which are great for dipping in those small, those little.
I don't know about that, man. I try to stay away from the boot nugget. Listen, sometimes
if you save the boot nugget for the end of the dipping sauce, it really enables you to get those edges. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody who's watching us on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. And of course, here on YouTube for your, weekly nugget dipping advice. We appreciate all love and support. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here on YouTube. Let's go ahead and say some quick shout outs before we start digging and diving and dipping. Because we got nuggets, we got road maps.
Ducking, dipping, diving. I like it.
Big shout out.
Houlihan. Big shout out to Patches O'Houlihan.
It's funny because, moderators on YouTube, they have wrenches, and in dodgeball, he was throwing wrenches.
That's very true.
It always comes full circle here at Awthentik and The Beard. Big shout out to Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor, I was watching you on Friday Night Lights, man. I forgot about that. There was that part where he was at, Texas. They make up these really interesting school names. I think it was TMU, Texas Methodist University. He was coaching at. But big shout out, Coach Taylor.
Big shout out to J-Mo.
Big shout out, Chris Peace, always holding us down on the Twitter world. We appreciate you, my friend. Alpha Mason is in the building. What's going on, Alpha? Thank you for stopping by. Sean G is in the building. What's up, gang? Appreciate you as always, Sean G. Also, Sean G just reminded me. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, there is a trivia question tonight. We will be giving away prizes like every Thursday on Awthentik and The Beard. We're just giving stuff away. And I have another big announcement. I want you guys to join me in at the end of the show. I'll let you guys know about that later. Big shout out to Yam in Japan, getting up early to come check us out, even on a bye week. We appreciate that, Yam. Thank you for stopping
Yams,
by.
what up?
Jay is in the building. What up, Jay Jean? Appreciate you as always. We got to show some love to the Cowboys fans. What's up, Kai? Kai dropping in.
They deserve it.
They deserve it. They do. And the new avatar himself,
Michael Knight in the building one time. What's poppin', fam?
Appreciate you. SHU Carter's in the building.
Hey, said.
We got some Beige Boy, HTTC. Appreciate you as always. Ben Dawson is in the building. What's going
up,
on,
Ben?
Big Ben?
Been a little
Appreciate
bit, Ben. How you living,
man.
fam? Hope
Big
all is
shout
well,
out
my G.
to Marjorie, always dropping the Marge bombs. Marjorie, I'm gonna need you to keep an eye out on the Baker Mayfield status. We appreciate you stopping by.
Little Joe Mixon for me.
We got some more international vibes. Alvaro checking in from Chi, lay, chile.
Shout out Alvaro
in the
one
building.
time.
Appreciate you. Another Cowboys fan, Gregory in the building. What's going on,
up,
Gregory?
What's going on?
Kareem Yee in the mix.
Sir.
What's going on, Kareem? And big shout out to ENA. We got time for the $4.99 super chat. Says, what's up, fellas? So close to being on time, and thanks for the advice on the programming. Major help. Also, go Baker tonight. Psych.
Go Baker. That's what's up. He said psych. I like the way he spelled it, too.
Oh, and listen, you can't have a New York Giants Philadelphia week without the one and only
Tuto
Tuto
in the building, my guy.
For the $4.99 super chat, says massive salutes, Beards and Awthentik, and for all die-hard Giants fans around the world, please slap all stinky boys losers out of front door fast and hard. Forget about it. Salute, Italy.
My
Appreciate
G. So
you,
on Twitter today, right, I said the only way that the New York Giants have a chance at winning this game is if they bring Tuto out. This one dude came into the thread. He said, who the hell, what is a Tuto? I said, he's a New York Giant legend. If you know, you know. Shout out to homie one time in the building.
Big shout out to Rob S.
Ooh, big shout out to Rob.
$49.99 super chat. Says production takes info and drip. Fire.
I appreciate that, Rob.
Listen, we appreciate that, Rob. But listen, we would not be able to do this without y'all in the chat.
100.
So production takes info, drip, and Awthentik and The Beard family.
Salute,
Fire.
salute, man. Appreciate
Everybody,
you, Rob. We definitely appreciate
we all
that, man.
doing
That goes
it
a
done
long way.
tonight. Yes. Thank you very much. And yes, we do know Baker is active, but the question is, will he be playing? Will he be starting? We gonna see. And
I bet he's probably gonna play.
I mean,
Start,
listen,
different story.
What if Baker go out there and throw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards?
I mean, people be acting like Baker's some straight up bum. He not no straight up bum. He can make some throws.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a Baker guy, man.
Yeah, he's all right. You know, I ain't sold on him or nothing. He's all right.
I mean, it sucks. He literally took Cleveland, who was this abomination of a franchise, and like he ran with it. And then it just
he
came
was getting a lot of the
crashing
credit
down.
too, and I don't think it was really all him. Nick Chubb, man, is a big part of that. The wide receiver core that they brought in there, he had everything. The offensive line, they literally built the perfect team for him, and just this Deshaun Watson thing kind of strangely pushed him out of town. I didn't see that coming, and now this is gonna be 3 teams in 1 year for Baker Mayfield.
No, 2 teams in 1 year. I guess technically, if you consider the offseason, yeah, I guess so.
Well, no, not considering the offseason. So he was traded before the year started. He was in Carolina week 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
And listen, the international players are coming out to play tonight. Big shout out to Tuto.
Tuto in the building. It's my guy,
With a
man.
$19.99 super chat. Says our team, players, trainers, have been using the Duo King roadmaps and nuggets for the last 3 years and have been getting massive results. Awthentik's been checking out the biggest hits 2022 highlights and testified to that.
That's facts.
Forget about it.
Tuto
Salute.
definitely sent me the link.
Italy.
It's some real life business going on in that rugby game. Can't be
Oh,
no
man.
softy. Can't be no
No,
softy.
you can't. No, you can't. So big shout out to Tuto. Big shout out to everybody here in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you guys and girls. All right, man. You ready for some dipping, dodging, ducking, diving?
Yeah, I'm we'll get to it after this clip. I think you deserve to give the Dallas Cowboys fans a bit of an apology letter to start this segment. Yeah? Can we bring the pen out?
No apology.
All right, let's get to it. All right, man. The Texans sitting at 1-10-1 are headed over there to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys, who are 9-3, surprisingly now. Shout out to Cooper Rush, backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Last week, the Texans lost to the Browns 27-14. The Cowboys beat the brakes, and then they replaced the brakes and beat the brakes off the Colts again, 54-19 last week. Last meeting, the Texans won against the Dallas Cowboys in overtime, October 7th, 2018. That game was in Houston. Very surprising. Let's talk about the Texans and all of their woes they got going on over there. Davis Mills gets to start on Sunday after being benched 2 weeks ago for former Washington quarterback Kyle Allen. Coach Lovie Smith made the switch back after Allen had 5 turnovers combined in 2 starts, including 2 of them that were returned for touchdowns against Cleveland. Houston has the worst record in the league, to nobody's surprise except the Beard one time. Texans were the first team mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. There's only really one bright spot for the Houston Texans, and that's Dameon Pierce, rookie running back. He's got 861 yards on the ground on 200 rushes. He's got just 3 touchdowns, though. That's not enough. You would think a guy running the ball like that would have some more. But he's got 2 games over 130 yards. He had 2 games of just 8 yards in November. I'm talking 2 games with 8 yards each. That is not the vibes. He got back on track last week, though. I think he had like 70-something yards in that game. Now, let's talk about the Cowboys a little bit, because the Cowboys got a lot going on right now. The Cowboys can get to double-digit wins in consecutive seasons for the first time since 1996. Now, that goes to show you how the competition has been in the NFC East. We've had new division winners pretty much every year. But this is going to be the first time getting a double-digit win since 1996. Looks like they're going to get there. They're favored in this game by 17 points. That's just out of this world. They did lose
It might have even
cornerback.
gone up. It might even be
It was 16 and a half, and I saw before I came on, it went up to 17.
17
If it's up more than that, that's ridiculous because you got a team favored by 3 scores here. And I know that the Texans are the worst team. The Cowboys definitely are the best team in the league, but they're definitely pushing that top 5 ranking right now. Prescott, he's got multiple touchdown passes in 5 consecutive games. This is why I'm talking about you need to put some respect on the Dallas Cowboys. He's one shy of a career best. He had 6 last season. The Cowboys did lose cornerback Anthony Brown. I did want to bring that up because now they're going to have to bring in some depth pieces. I heard William Steele talking about this on his show this morning. Shout out to William Steele, man. Great show this morning. The Cowboys have scored 100. I'm dropping big nuggets for y'all because the Beard didn't put the respect on the Cowboys last show. I got to put big respect on the Cowboys this episode, okay? The Cowboys have scored 199 points in their past 5 games. It's the most in that span in Cowboys history. The Texans average the second lowest amount of points per game in the entire NFL right now, 15.7. I'm setting y'all up for a mollywhopping right here, okay? Texans have not scored more than 17 points in their last 6 games. Let me repeat that one more time for the people in the back that didn't hear that. The Texans have not scored more than 17 points in their last 6 games. So if you're wondering why the Cowboys are favored by 17 or possibly more, according to the Beard, that's definitely why. And Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, he has 2 100-yard games and 3 touchdowns in the past 4 games. That man is definitely showing y'all he's a number 1 wide receiver. I'm putting some respect on the Cowboys one time. I know the Beard doesn't care. Maybe Spike doesn't care. I care. The Cowboys are definitely balling out. A lot of it has to do with the emergence of Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard has definitely been the man in this backfield. He got the start last week. They kind of tiptoed around it. Jerry Jones said it was a disciplinary action on Ezekiel Elliott.
Really? I missed that.
Yeah, he said that. But Mike McCarthy refused to, give a statement on it. So we really, really don't know what's going on with that. But Tony Pollard has 5 touchdowns of at least 30 yards. It's the most in a season in Dallas history. 852 yards rushing on the ground this year. That's a career high for him. And he leads the NFL, 5.8 yards per carry. He's definitely a problem. I've talked about him all year. He gets about a big play at least every game. We were talking about Rookie of the Year a little bit last year, kind of like reaching. We really didn't know who to reach for. I think Dameon Pierce, man, makes a good candidate. I talked about that 73 yards he had last week against the Browns and the 2 games before that where he really struggled. But he leads all rookies right now with over 1,000 scrimmage yards and 861 rushing yards. So if the Beard ain't going to do it for y'all, I wanted to start this segment off. Shout out to the homie Kai one time. Shout out to Monique. Shout out to Gregory. Shout out to Texas Boy. Shout out to J-Mo, who's actually a Dallas Cowboys fan. He was definitely all up in the comment section after that big win. Big salute to you, Monique. I know I still got to rap with you. We on that. Don't even worry. But big shout out to the Cowboys one time. Do I even have to tell y'all who's going to win this game? I'll let the Beard talk about his little roadmap he wants to give for the Texans. He told me before we got on air that he was struggling to find any decent information on the Texans in this whole entire game. I'm going to let you do what you do and see if maybe, just maybe, you're going to put some respect, or you might be finished or you might be done. We'll see.
Listen, first and foremost, I do want to say that I have to eat some crow and say that I misread some things. I thought the Texans would win more than 4 games this year.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
There was in the beginning of the season to the middle of the season, there was a lot of 1-possession games they lost there, and I think that I don't know why they even bothered to go to Kyle Allen. Maybe they just were like, let's just, shore up this number 1 pick before anything funny happens. So we'll put Kyle Allen in for a couple of games. I mean, that was just god awful. Kyle Allen, I mean, I remember people were trying to say Kyle Allen was going to be a guy here, but listen, the Dallas Cowboys are a good team. They're a good team. It
looks like it pains you to say it.
No. I joke and I kid a lot with the Dallas Cowboys, but if you really, if you really listen and pay attention, I have done nothing but give flowers to the Dallas Cowboys all year long. I know there might have been some dandelions, as Awthentik so eloquently
what are the ones that are the white
daffodils?
Flowers? Those are daffodils?
I think
I
so.
don't think those
the ones
are
that you like blow and they fly.
Them Jones.
I think those are daffodils.
Daffodils? Okay.
Oh. It could have been some of those. But every once in a while I gave you guys some roses from Safeway. Or from from my man over there on University Boulevard in New Hampshire down there in Park.
Yep.
They always got the good bargain on the flowars. But
you'll $5-10, yep.
wilted flowers, will-o-wisps. Is that what they're called?
I didn't think they were called. Would you say daffodils?
Daffodils.
Yeah, I didn't think they were daffodils. I don't
Maybe
even remember.
daffodils.
Daffodils don't even sound like a person of my color would ever say in their entire life. Who's out there blowing daffodils in the fields?
But you said it, man. Listen, this Dallas Cowboys team is Tony Pollard.
The team is Tony Pollard.
The team is Tony Pollard. Okay.
Here we go. Here we go, Cowboys fans.
The Dallas Cowboys will be as good as Tony Pollard is. Okay. Now, Dak, that 2 touchdowns, that's pretty impressive over this span. He's thrown some interceptions too, and he had 2 interceptions last week, even though the box score said 1. But we'll leave that for what it is. But I tried. The Houston Texans are really bad at everything. Like, the Beard, if you guys don't know, the Beard dives into these numbers. And I'm looking at, top to bottom rankings. And I'm like, okay, there's going to be a little hole here, loophole there. But Kai said it best in the chat. He said, the roadmap is a dead end. And I mean, there is, but listen.
The Texans aren't even going to get the car started. This is like waking up. It's cold as hell in the morning. You pop the trunk to go get the little ice scraper. You start scraping the ice, put the key in the ignition, click, nothing. It happened the other day with us. You remember, right?
Yeah,
one of them times.
It did. But all of that, what does that lead you to believe sometimes? Okay, when it's all so obvious. Okay. And the Dallas Cowboys are doing this, and they've scored, 1,000 points in 5 games, and the Texans have scored 7 in 5 games, and the Texans
17,
ranked dead last
17.
in
Don't
everything.
Don't butcher my nuggets, man. You just came over here and put your hands on my plate, bro.
and then they're favored by 17.5 points. It smells a little fishy.
Yo,
okay?
Kai. Hey, for those of y'all that know about this feeling right here, it's not too many people that know about this feeling because you had to have either some good stock rims or some real good aftermarket rims. I know all about this vibe right here. You either get the call or you pull up to the crib and you see that the car's on bricks. Like, nah, God, you did this to me. You let them take my wheels, cuz?
And that's usually how it's like you start your day to the bricks.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible because they got you about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, don't ever want to do that. So hopefully, the Texans find a way to, turn those bricks into wheels and get things moving one way or another, But it just comes down there. Just the only thing that they could possibly do is just Dameon Pierce have the game of his life.
Yeah.
Booby Miles. Because remember, this is Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, Friday Night Lights, Smash Williams, Booby Miles sort of situation.
Monique says you were right on the dandelions.
Dandelions? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Good to know.
So you're right on something. Go ahead.
So the Dallas Cowboys, this team, I said that about Tony Pollard because I think that it's very important for them to find a way to run the ball, okay? Because without running the ball, the Dallas Cowboys are not the same team. I will say that now, and I will die on that hill. If the Texans could find a way to stop the run, which they haven't been able to do all year long, they're the 32nd dead last rush defense in the world.
They've been there. It ain't like this is like, just
Seattle was there
weeks.
for a little bit,
This is 4 straight weeks, bro.
Yeah.
At least that they've been there.
They're giving up 169.1 yards per game on the ground. Okay, there's some people that don't pass for 169 yards in a game. Okay, so this could be a doozy for sure. But
Dallas is 7th in the NFL in rushing.
Yeah, 145.9 yards per game. So that there's some discrepancies. They're going to need to do something. Now, like I said, if they can find a way to run the ball, Dameon Pierce, game of their life, Booby Miles, Smash Williams. Dallas is giving up 129.8 yards per game on the ground.
Where does that rank?
8th worst in the National Football League.
Yeah.
24th. Okay? Yeah. But the problem is the Houston Texans are 29th in rushing yards per game. They're only running this blew my mind. They're only averaging 87.9 yards per game on the ground.
I mean, Pierce just had 2 back-to-back games with 8 yards. That ain't helping that average out.
Listen. I want to pick the Texans. I do.
No, I mean, I was gonna say no, you don't, but I know you do. Pick them, man. Pick them. You'll look like a damn boss if they win.
Yeah, but listen, I gotta be real. Okay, what do we do here? We're not optimistic. We're not pessimistic. We're realistic.
Yeah, I know, man. I came up with that saying, and last week, I don't know. You was definitely more on the optimistic side, or if you want to call it the pessimistic side, as far as the Dallas Cowboys go.
I think the Dallas Cowboys find a way to win. I'm not toxic towards the Beard. Towards the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys find a way to win here against a tough Houston Texans team.
It's a tough Houston Texans team.
Do they cover 17.5?
It's up to you to decide.
Nah, man. Nah. 24-13. Actually, all right. No, that seems too low. 20.
Yeah, Beige Boy got it. Beige Boy got it close.
27-17. We'll go 27-17.
They haven't
Dallas
scored
wins.
17 points in 6 straight games. They're going to break that streak.
They're going to break that streak. 27-17.
Against Dallas defense. That's ranked
Davis
number 5
Mills,
in the NFL.
Davis Mills is back.
Davis Mills is back. I like that. 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the year from Davis Mills. Not having the best year. But, okay, so one more time, 27-17. Okay. I'm going to go more like what Beige Boy said. He said 31-9, but I don't think it'll be just 3 field goals from the Texans. I do think they're going to find a way to score 1 touchdown in that game. I'm going to go 34-13 Dallas Cowboys. I think they're just going to run the scoreboard up. They'll definitely cover this one. They're not going to favor a team by 17 for no reason. It's a lot on the line for the Cowboys here. They're striding. I think they're just waiting to get that matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles to really try to prove they're the best team in the division, to be honest.
Listen, that's how games like this happen, though.
Yeah, you can get a fluke one here and there. It happens. It definitely happens. You can get a fluke one. But, I can't bank on no fluke game. I can't. I just can't. Yeah, I just can't.
You know what we can bank on? Two-toe! With a $9.99 super chat says Awthentik. Please, suit me up against the Boyds on Sunday, and I'll guarantee you Hurts won't be walking off the field on his own power. I'll make sure he'd remember who broke him apart.
Shout out to Tudo, man. Let me send a text, man, to Coach Dable real quick, because we do need some help at the linebacker position, Tudo. And yeah, we get you in there. I'm guaranteed. Tudo, if they put Tudo in the game, it's guaranteed victory. Yo, somebody in the chat, that's crazy. Said I don't care if it's General Mills, Owens Mills, Win Mills. You can add Foreman Mills to that list. Foreman Mills. You gotta be from around the way to know about that one. Yeah, not the vibes, Beard. Not the vibes.
Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat says Awthentik. It's 1:30 in the morning here, and we're on the road for our away game on Saturday. Our entire club's viewing this live show, and they're all paying their proper respects. You didn't put it in here, but I'm gonna put it in there since y'all are paying your respect. We're gonna pay our respect. Salute, Italy.
Big salute to Italy. Big salute to Tudo, man. One of the biggest supporters of the whole entire New York Giants community, man. We really couldn't do this without people like you, man. And all of y'all, man, that's sending those super chats in here, and all of y'all rocking in the chat, man. The family is super important here, man. We definitely appreciate that. And without y'all, there'd be no witnesses to, hear the Beard give you these Cowboys takes. It's like a tree falling in the forest, Did it really
I thought I was pretty good there, that whole section, right?
I give you a 4.4 on a level of respect.
Out of 5?
The Cowboys. Out of 10.
No, come on.
Out of 100. I got you. All right, you ready to go on to the real game, the real matchup that we want to talk about here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cowboys going to take care of business, and not to say that the Eagles aren't going to head to MetLife and take care of business, but we'll get there.
Hits are on the board with 11:16 to go here in the third.
All right, Beard, I want to cook for a little bit. Can I cook for a little bit?
Hey, man, the cupboard has been opened. I took out all the spices, okay? The meats have been marinating, so all you got to do is walk into the kitchen and cook. Let cook.
Let's do a little cooking here. It might go a little bit disastrous here. I'm not too good in the kitchen,
man.
okay?
It's okay. I got the roadmap
Eagles,
ready.
man, 11-1, headed to MetLife to take on a 7-4-1. God, I hate that I'm going to have to say that for the rest of the year. The Eagles are favored by 7. The over-under is 45.5. The last meeting, the Eagles beat the Giants 34-10. That was with a backup quarterback, so put a little asterisk next to that. Got a couple injuries heading into this game for the New York Giants. Left guard Ben Bredeson might return this week after missing 5 games. Looks like Dory Jackson, Xavier McKinney, and Joshua Ezedu are a little bit iffy for a return on this one. And also Leonard Williams, we really haven't gotten much word about the neck injury that he suffered against the Washington Commanders. Last week, the Eagles demolished the Titans 35-10. Jalen Hurts, 29 of 39 for 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, QBR of 74.7. He also had 1 rushing touchdown and a passer rating of 130. I don't even think I've said anyone has had a passer rating that high. Miles Sanders was the leading rusher with just 24 yards. We already know about A.J. Brown. We don't got to reiterate how good of a game he had. He literally got the GM fired from the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans GM had 6 straight seasons, not 1 losing season, 4 seasons going into the playoffs. Definitely some turmoil going on over there. Last week for the Giants, they tied the Commanders. Getting one of those for that. Daniel Jones was 25 of 31 for 200 yards and 1 touchdown. Did have 12 rushes for 71 yards, QBR of 31.8. Saquon Barkley, I talked about these kind of games being the games where we got to find ways to win, and I think the New York Giants should have won that game against the Commanders. He had 18 rushes for 63 yards, averaging 3.5 yards per carry and 1 touchdown. Darius Slayton led us in receiving with 6 receptions for 90 yards. Now, this matchup here is definitely scaring me a little bit, okay? This is like, when Lawrence Fishburne took Trey in the hood and talked to them about gentrification. This is Furious Styles versus Julia Styles, okay? I heard NFL Network talking about Julia Styles, Save the Last Dance, all these vibes. This is Furious Styles versus Julia Styles. Philadelphia's got the best record in the entire NFL right now. The Eagles are 6-0 on the road this year. It's the first time the Eagles have been 11-1 since 2004. Nick Sirianni, not enough people giving that man credit. You know, this whole comeback coach or, coach of the year conversation that's happening. We definitely heard Brian Dable being talked about. I've been talking about Nick Sirianni for a couple of weeks. They're going to think I'm an Eagles fan after this segment, the way I'm about to roast with the Eagles here. But Nick Sirianni is the 6th coach since the merger in 1970 to start 11-1 or better in his first or second year as a coach. Sean McVay of the Rams was the most recent in 2018. Now, Philadelphia Eagles, man, have had 450 yards and 5 or more touchdowns in 2 straight games for the first time since before we was born, the Beard. We talking 1981. Multi-dimensional Eagles offense, man, they've been on fire. In Week 12 versus the Packers were bad against the run. What you think the Eagles did?
Ran the ball.
They ran the damn ball. Okay, shout out to RTDB gang. They ran the ball for 363 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hurts finished the day with 157 rushing yards. That's the most by a quarterback. And Miles Sanders had 143 yards on the ground. Now, in Week 13, the Titans were good against the run, but the Titans are bad against the pass. What do you think the Eagles did in that game?
They passed the ball?
The Eagles passed the ball for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hurts had the 3 touchdowns, 380 yards. A.J. Brown had 8 receptions for 119 yards. Devonta Smith had 5 receptions for 102 yards. You got 2 wide receivers going over 100 yards. You got to love those games right there. Now, this is a stat that I saw earlier today. On passes of 20-plus yards down the field, Jalen Hurts leads the entire NFL in QBR and has thrown a league-high 10 touchdowns. How many interceptions you think he got?
0.
1 interception. Shout out to the Get Up from ESPN for dropping that gem this morning. Miles Sanders right now 6th in the NFL with 924 yards rushing, and he's got 9 touchdowns. There's been a couple of backs, man, that have been lighting it up this year. You had Jamal Williams. You got Saquon Barkley out there. Nick Chubb is second with 12, I believe. Definitely a lot of running backs. And Miles Sanders, sneaky 9 touchdowns on the ground. A.J. Brown is 2nd in the NFL right now in yards per catch with 15.6. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith both lead the Philadelphia Eagles with 61 receptions on the year. Now, Giants rushing defense, we already know the problem. It's the rushing defense with the Giants. Otherwise, I'm like, the Giants defense has done everything they've had to do in just about every game. They try to keep us in these games as best as they can, especially with the amount of injuries that we've had in the beginning of the year and the amount of injuries that we're having now after the bye. But they're allowing 5.1 yards per carry. That's second to last in the NFL right now. 141.1 yards per game on the ground allowed by the Giants defense. That's 26th in the NFL. But they did get some pressure on the quarterback last week, so I got to give him a couple of props. Kayvon Thibodeau got his second sack. You had Jihad Ward, who had a sack in that game. Dexter Lawrence had that key sack to knock y'all a little bit farther back for that long attempt from Joey Sly, who ended up missing that. 5 sacks, 10 quarterback hits against the Commanders. Now, we had a bunch of conversations today about Daniel Jones and the weaponry that he's working with, and we know the wide receiver core for the New York Giants is not good. I made a couple of comparisons on Twitter today with the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans leading wide receiver is Treylon Burks. He has 200-plus less yards than Darius Slayton does. They're struggling over there with injuries. Treylon Burks is their leading receiver. He's missed 6 games on the year. Daniel Jones' statistics for the year, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2,365 yards. He does have the Giants' record now for the most rushing yards by a quarterback with 522, and he has had a 100 or more quarterback rating in 3 of his past 4 starts. And I think that that's really been because we've been forced to pass the ball because we've been down in a lot of these games. But it was definitely an ugly second half last week for the New York Giants. We talked about this enough, 21 total yards in the second half of regulation. Saquon Barkley, and these are really our 2 guys, man. For the Giants to win games, one of these guys has to have either a big game or they both got to have a decent game. Saquon Barkley has 1,055 yards rushing this year. That's 4th in the NFL. It's his first 1,000-yard season on the ground since 2018, I believe. Or no, 2019. Sorry about that. But for me, before I get off into my keys to victory, I just want to stress the fact that this game looks extremely lopsided right now. The one thing I think that the Giants have going for them is that the Eagles have not played fantastic talent. I've been talking about that all year. There's not a team on the schedule for them where you go, oh my God, they beat the the Kansas City Chiefs like the Cincinnati Bengals did last week. And I think that really, really boasts the value of a guy like Joe Burrow now as a franchise quarterback. When you can beat a team like the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. The Eagles really don't have that staple win yet. They beat the Dallas Cowboys, but that was when the Dallas Cowboys had a backup quarterback. It was the only loss Cooper Rush.
Minnesota first week of the season.
Was that week 1? No, that was week 1, huh?
And
so
then,
they did beat Minnesota, and they didn't even have to score in the first half. Or they didn't have to score in the second half. And they beat the Tennessee Titans last week, which is, like I said, you look at Tennessee, their leading wide receiver has 350 yards on the season. If you stop Derrick Henry, you stop the Tennessee Titans. I've been saying that about the New York Giants. If you stop Saquon Barkley, you can pretty much stop the New York Giants. And since Saquon Barkley has had these couple of bad games in a row, the Giants are struggling to be able to score points, sustain drives, most importantly, and keep teams off the field. And we know that going up against this Philadelphia Eagles team, the only way to beat them, because the only team that's beaten them was the Beard's Washington Commanders, they kept Jalen Hurts off the field. Now, before you get to cooking, I'm gonna finish the meal. I'm gonna let you, I gotta take a call, right? And I'm gonna let you come in the kitchen and do a little cooking. But I want to send a real big shout out to the graphics department one time.
Yeah, you get on the freeway. What? No, turn right. Go down the lane. No. Okay, get the procedure. Just get out the lane.
Yo, can I send a super chat to the graphics department? I'm so ecstatic. That was
Shout out to the
awesome.
graphics department, man. That's one of my girl's favorite movies, too, man. I saw Clueless on TV the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's perfect for the roadmap right there. Shout out to the graphics department. Beard, the floor is yours. I'm curious to see how you come into the kitchen here and cook this meal and see how we going to get to where we got to get with this roadmap.
On behalf of the Beard, Nick gives a $2 super chat to the graphics department. Says, watch the Giants tie again because of the Washington Commanders.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Hey, listen. I've seen a lot of people in the chat talk about Saquon's neck injury on the injury report right now.
Yep.
That's something that we're definitely going to have to, monitor. But because y'all love the Beard and the Beard love y'all, even though y'all losing helps me, I'm still going to do my job and present y'all with a roadmap to victory, okay? Listen, I've been down this road before. I traveled this road, okay? I got to the destination of victory against the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, nobody else has traveled this road but the Beard. The Beard is the lone traveler, okay? You got to win the turnover battle, okay? That is going to be key here on the roadmap to victory. In the Philadelphia loss, all of these things I'm going to give you deal with their one loss, okay? Because it's the only loss they have. They lost that turnover battle 4-2. Okay, so the New York Giants have to focus on forcing turnovers and not turning the ball over. You know, I'm sure in practice this week, a lot of people are going to be talking about, you know, A.J. Brown's ball security. That might be an opportunity for the New York Giants to try and force a turnover. Philadelphia is still number 1 in the NFL in turnover differential at plus 13. But to my surprise, the New York Giants aren't too far behind them as far as rankings. They are number 8th in the National Football League in turnover differential at plus 3. Now, Awthentik talked about the time of possession battle. In the Philadelphia loss, that exact number was Washington Commanders 40 minutes and 24 seconds to the Philadelphia Eagles 19 minutes and 36 seconds.
That's
Philadelphia
crazy.
Eagles are number 6 in the league in time of possession at 31 minutes and 14 seconds. But much to my surprise, the New York Giants weren't too far behind in the rankings at number 9 in the National Football League in time of possession at 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, you know what we like to talk about here. RTDB. Run the damn ball. Okay? In the loss, Washington ran that ball 49 times for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. But what was the key? 4 different players had rushing statistics in that game. The New York Giants are number 6 in the National Football League right now with 149.7 yards per game. What we need to see for the New York Giants, different than what we saw last week especially, was a box score that only had 2 players with running statistics, Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. The New York Giants need to get a little more creative in their play calling as far as running the ball goes. Maybe some pre-snap motion, stuff like that. Throw the Eagles off a little bit because all those little seconds, which we talked about a lot with the Washington Commanders, will help keep those linebackers a little bit on their heels. Now, we want to see Breida, we want to see Barkley, we want to see Jones, we want to see Brightwell. That's 4 different players to run the rock for the New York Football Giants. So ideally, you want to get over 150 yards rushing in this game and have all 4 of those guys have rushing statistics in the box score. Next, it's going to be a little difficult. You're going to have to stop the run. I praised the New York Football Giants off defensive front last week because I thought it was their best that they have looked all season long when you're talking about rushing the quarterback and stopping the run to a certain extent.
Yeah,
now,
I wouldn't go stopping the run, though.
That's why I said to a certain extent.
Yeah, because
okay?
Brian Robinson had a game.
He didn't get over 100 yards, though. Okay,
Hey, 96,
so
might as well.
when we beat the Philadelphia Eagles, we held them to under 100 yards. 94 rushing yards the Philadelphia Eagles had in that loss. Philadelphia is number 5 in the National Football League at 154.6 yards per game. The problem is, like Awthentik talked about, is the New York Football Giants rush defense 26, 141.1, like he said. So you're going to have to find a way. Okay, gotta have to find a way. A lot of that is gonna have to be interior. You're gonna have that interior pressure and have those D ends be containing, which is gonna be tough because you know Thibodeau, Young. A lot of times, younger players are the one thing that they struggle with is that contain. So you know it's gonna have to be a balance between attacking Jalen Hurts and containing Jalen Hurts on the edges. Now, the next stop is gonna be the red zone. New York Giants. Still holding on to, I don't know how, but they're still a top 5 red zone defense. They're only allowing opponents to score in the red zone 48.9% of the time. The problem is they're going against, as Awthentik likes to talk about with Jalen Hurts and that red zone offense. The Philadelphia Eagles have the number 2 red zone offense in the National Football League. They are converting at an absolutely astronomical 73.8% in the red zone on the season.
Who's ahead of them? I wonder who's ahead of them.
The Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions.
Had the number
Not
1
enough
red
people
zone.
talking about Jared Goff.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people in the Giants community saying, oh, man, you know, Amon-Ra St. Brown ain't even that good.
Yeah,
But then when he
that was
did
the
what he did,
craziest.
now it's like, oh, no, he's a number 1. Jared Goff has his number 1 now. Jared Goff playing some really good football.
Yeah.
That statistic is really crazy about the red zone. Did you see the touchdown that the rushing touchdown that Jalen Hurts had last week? He was like 5 yards away from the end zone with 5 defenders getting ready to tackle him, and Miles Sanders was like this. I'm like, Like, he just knew he was going to get in the end zone. And it's like, they're not even thinking about it. Jalen Hurts, man, they got to put some respect on that kid's name.
It's a different ball game with that kid. So, Philadelphia, number 6 red zone defense in the National Football League. They're only allowing their opponents to convert 50% of the time. New York Giants offense, though, not bad in the red zone. Not bad. This is another one that surprised me a little bit.
That.
Number 11, 60.5% of the time they're converting in the red zone. Okay, so it's just a matter of getting there. I think that's going to be the big issue there. And last but certainly not least is that third down. Okay, once again, surprising. New York Giants third down defense is pretty damn good. Number 6 in the National Football League, 35.2% of the time. Okay, and Philadelphia Eagles, this is where you can get them. Their third down offense, all right, is 4th in the National Football League.
That's 45, not where we can get them.
45.8% third down offense. The Philadelphia Eagles third down defense is 12th. 38.2%.
Shout out to Stephen White one time in the building. I see you, brother.
The New York Giants, though, they're 20th on third down offense at 38.9% of the time. So you gotta have to find a way.
Last week with the 6 straight.
No.
Yeah, and then the field.
You're gonna have to find a way on third downs, and you're gonna have to find a way on run defense. Those are the 2 ones that you don't really match up with statistically. But I think if you win the turnover battle, win the time of possession battle, run for at least 150 yards with 4 different players, stop the run, hold Philadelphia under 100 yards, okay, win the red zone battle and the third down battle, those 6 stops will lead you to a victory.
I like it. I think you said some good points, some stuff we were talking about in the spaces yesterday and the day before that as well. I definitely like that. I want to send a big shout out to Tim from Online Big Blue. I think he said the best point of all, if we have a chance in this game, you got to hope that Jalen Hurts just goes cold. You want to see Jalen Hurts do what he did in the first meeting last season against the Giants, where they try to come out, throw the ball a little bit, and they just go cold. I think you're going to have to stop the run a little bit if you even want to get to that point. So first and foremost, you probably got to just limit the run in the first 2 quarters of the game, and then just hope that Jalen Hurts gets cold, maybe gives you an interception, gives you a turnover, a fumble, something. You're going to have to offer something like that. Secondly, there's a chance of rain. Giants fans, pray for it. Pray for that rain. Because if we can have a rain game, it will make things a lot more ugly, because I think then you'll know exactly what the Eagles are going to do, even though I expect them to come out and try to run the rock. I don't expect them to make that same mistake and try to throw the ball in the first quarter unless they're coming off, some play action, some RPO, stuff like that. But for the majority, I think they're going to try to run the rock. Saquon and DJ, you talked about the rushing yards coming from the other running backs as well, from Breida and Brightwell, and I think it is important to get those 2 guys involved in this game. That's a crime to not give them any attempts in a game where Saquon Barkley only has 4 attempts in the second half. That you can't keep doing things like that. But I do think Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, they're going to have to combine for over 200 yards alone. Just them 2. They need over 200. And then you need to work in the other running backs and, change the pace a little bit with guys like Breida. I like the sets that had Breida on the field with Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. Maybe go back to a little bit of that Wildcat. Well, what happened to that Wildcat they was trying to run that looked a little bit unpolished? Like they weren't practicing it that much either, because at times you saw some false starts out of that Wildcat package, and you saw just like some confusion and miscommunication and just not the confidence there at all times. But when it was working, it was pretty much working. And then I think fourth, you got to protect Daniel Jones, man. And you talked about not turning the ball over. Hassan Reddick right now, man, he leads the Eagles right now with 9 sacks, 3 strip sacks. We know what's been up with Daniel Jones. Obviously, it hasn't been as much for like the past couple of years. But that rookie season, I always go back to that stat that I literally went through every game to look at every fumble. 19 fumbles, 11 of them lost, 6 of them for scooping scores. You don't want to get back into that zone. The Eagles' defense is on fire right now. They lead the NFL with 23 takeaways, and they have the most interceptions from a defense in the league right now with 15 interceptions. They're second in sacks. They have 42 sacks on the season. They're just right behind Dallas by 6. And this stat, I was telling the Beard this off air, this one surprised me too. James Bradbury right now is second in the NFL with 14 pass deflections. That, to me, is one of the most surprising statistics. I saw some people talking about, if the Giants were to allow Daniel Jones to leave and to go see him ball out somewhere else would make, fans be very disgruntled. And it made me think about James Bradbury, a guy that, we could have made a couple of different moves here or there, and we could have kept him on this roster. They ended up keeping Blake Martinez. I saw Justin Pennick and Bobby talked about this on one of their YouTube shorts, that could have been a move where you could have just like cut Blake earlier, tried to find a way to keep James Bradbury on this defense. And imagine if you had a Dory Jackson, James Bradbury, Xavier McKinney, and Julian Love. Now, that core that had already been playing together, this defense would be even better. We can't forget about Cabo. But at the same time, this Eagles defense, the only weakness has been against the run. So we have to find a way to run the ball. That's why I say the Giants are going to need 200 out of Daniel and Saquon Barkley. Combined, I don't care if Saquon goes for 170 and Daniel goes for 30, whatever it is. We got to find a way to sustain the run because that's how we're going to keep Jalen Hurts on the sideline. And that's the formula that worked for the Washington Commanders and why they won that game. When you're talking about offense and their quarterback only having 19 minutes to operate, and I remember the plays was super out there. It was like 80 to 40-something plays or something like that.
Crazy.
It's hard for a team to win when they're not on the field. And that is the best approach for the New York Giants. You got to try to copy that. Other teams have done that and haven't quite had success. The Colts tried to do it. The Houston Texans tried to do it. Dameon Pierce had a really good game against them, but it just wasn't enough, and the Eagles pulled away in the second half. You cannot come out here and not score early. The Giants got to come out here and get right to it. If you don't score a touchdown in those first two drives, this game is not going to go the way you want to go. These fumbles that we were having on the first drive last week and whatnot from Daniel Jones, these 3-and-outs, we started the week before that with a 3-and-out. You cannot have these things continuously happen. The Giants have been a team that's scoring about 7 to 10 points maximum in the first half of all of these games this year. I can't even think of – the only game I can think of where we had over 10 at the half was against the Dallas Cowboys where we were up 13 to 7 at the half. You got to find a way to score early, and you got to find a way to score often. You got to find a way to sustain these drives. Last week is pitiful. That I know this offense is better than that. I don't care what the narrative is going around Twitter about our wide receivers being Best Buy, Walmart workers, and all that stuff. These players are better than what you saw last week against the Washington Commanders, specifically in that second half. They got to go out here and show up and show out. A lot of people have been having a debate about the reason why this offense has been so conservative has to do with the offensive line, has to do with the quarterback, has to do with the coaching, has to do with the wide receivers. Find a way. I think you have to have balance of being conservative, but also when the shots are there, take the shots. I sent a shout out to the homie BT Giants, who, a lot of people were ragging on him about his content that he creates, like he shouldn't be dissecting footage and all this stuff, and they pretty much hating on his content. And I commend him because he didn't let that slow down his content. He actually ramped up the content when people was hating on him and trying to be critical about his content. The 2 videos that he posted today of throws that Daniel Jones missed, which a lot of these people who are just completely all the way on the homer side of Daniel Jones don't want to look at and don't want to try to, acknowledge the facts. They want to try to ignore them. These 2 throws, you cannot be in the NFL and miss these kind of opportunities. One of them is Darius Slayton on a post corner route. That is the way I love the post corner, where when you go bait the post and you show them the 8, and the safety's way inside, it's an easy throw for the quarterback on the outside shoulder and hitting that 7. The other one was another route, a dig route that he showed. Oh, no, it was a dig route and a seam route from the tight end where Daniel Jones took the safe route. I like that Daniel Jones is not turning the ball over, and a lot of that has to do with being safe. I get it. But this game has to be about balance. This isn't the coaches are calling short routes. This isn't the Jason Garrett system we saw last year where all 4 wide receivers in the route tree are running comeback routes. There's different routes are going on within this offense. So utilize it every now and again. I talked about this with Taylor Heineke. Take that shot down the field. I don't care if you lollipop it and you get a pass interference or you don't, it's incomplete, whatever. When you do that, you're going to keep these safeties a little bit back. You're going to keep these linebackers a little bit back. And in return, that's going to open up the middle of the field. I think the Giants have a chance in this game. Do I think they're going to win it? Absolutely not. If the Eagles come out here and they're playing to their capability, this game shouldn't even be close. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to, pull some of these things I was pulling in the beginning of the year where I'm like, hey, we're not scared of Derrick Henry, man. We can beat them. Because at the beginning of the year, it's very different than when you're looking in December games. The teams are ready. They got tape on you. They know exactly what you do. It's why the Commanders had so much success in stopping all that bootleg stuff, all that read option stuff. Every time Daniel Jones turned the corner on play action, somebody was in his face, and there was receivers down the field that weren't open. They know what you're going to do. Dable, I need that trick, bro. I need that trick up that sleeve so we can add an extra 7 on this scoreboard. It's going to take at least 24 points to try to beat these Philadelphia Eagles here at home. I don't think the Giants had the firepower to do it. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles in this one. I think it's going to be something like 29 to – I'm going to go 29 to 13.
24-23. Philadelphia Eagles.
I made a joke the other day about every time somebody pick a New York
saw
Giants score, it's 24 to something. Every time. We're the team where it's always 24-21, 24-20, 24-22. Because
I think it's a close game. I think it's a close game. Just this game could be a mollywhopping. It easily could. I think that there's a lot on the line. I think that, the Giants kind of have their back against the wall, and I feel like it's just that make or break sort of situation. They're at home, division game. I just think that in the end, Jalen Hurts is having that MVP-esque year, and it would be foolish to pick against them right now. But I do think that the Giants have a better chance than I think, most people think. But it's going to take, just like we did with Washington, you have to go out there and you have to execute. You have to play your best game and trick up the sleeve, a bounce your way, a lucky play sort of situation in order to actually win. But I get to watch this game. I get to be glued in, so it's going to be interesting. But I think Philadelphia just finds a way to win it in the end, and that's why I'm going 24-23 Philadelphia.
I like it, man. I like it. Let's get off into this trivia section one time.
Authentic and The Beard, streaming live every Tuesday, every Thursday at 7 p.m.
All right, y'all. Let's give away some free prizes from Over the Years Sports. Shout out to the Beard, man, for sponsoring this every week, man, because we definitely couldn't do this without you and the Over the Years Sports gang one time. We'll give y'all a little bit of time here. We got about 15 minutes before we get to kickoff, before we make our predictions. We'll go through this trivia in about 5 minutes here one time, maybe 10 minutes on the Raiders-Rams game, and then get y'all up out of here right on time so y'all don't got to overlap the Authentic and the Beard content with your Thursday night football content. Shout out to Amazon Prime, man. They're doing a fantastic job. If you have high-speed internet, I see some of y'all with this bootleg DSL complaining week to week to week to week. Got to upgrade, man. Give me some more megabytes per second one time. So I hope you got your thinking caps on, your Google fingers ready. This one is a layup. I think y'all should be able to get this one. This one shouldn't be too tricky. Beard, you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Chat, y'all ready? Let me see some biceps in the chat one time to let me know that y'all are ready one time.
Yes.
Oh, Crypto Move says, what did you get, the Adult Swim dude to do your promos? Nah, that's my homie Sleepwalker, man. Super talented artist from the DMV area, man. He's a singer, rapper, songwriter. He does voiceover work. He can pretty much imitate any voice. He's legally blind. He had his retina removed when he was 7 years old from cataracts, man. So I think maybe that heightened his senses as far as his voice goes, man. This dude's an amazing singer. Featured on a couple of my projects, man. Good dude, man. Big shout out to Sleepwalker one time, man, doing big things in the DMV one time.
And remember, it is the first person that we see in our chat, which might look different than your chat due to different internet lags. So we just want to make sure we get that out there so everybody knows we got to go by what we see first. If you are a New York Giants fan and you win tonight, you're going to be getting this absolutely gorgeous Eli Manning
You ain't even show me that one, man. Come on, man. I don't put that in the tuck.
Air Supremacy Eli Manning card.
That's
in
fire.
one of his first interviews as a former player, Tony Romo was quick to heap praise on former division rival, said, quote, Eli, he's a legend of the game. Romo said of Manning, his contemporary for a decade in the NFC East, the great quarterbacks have an ability to last through the lean years. Eli is one of those. So big shout out to Eli Manning. And then also, if you're a Commanders fan, you can win a autographed Logan Thomas helmet from Virginia Tech. And then I have Dallas stuff and I have Philadelphia stuff. And speaking of stuff, I just want to let everybody know, tomorrow night on Whatnot at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there is a link in the description of this video. I am going to be doing the absolute biggest, most insane sports memorabilia auction ever. We're talking autographs by all major sports.
I saw that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar baseball. That's
Autographed
late last
baseball.
night. That was fire. That was fire.
I was
bro.
up late last night adding them. I mean, I have a mini helmet, Hall of Fame mini helmet that's autographed by 5 Hall of Famers on one mini helmet, including Rosie Brown from the New York Football Giants. I mean,
Okay.
we got Ja Morant autographed basketballs, Luka autographed basketballs, Floyd Mayweather autographs. We got Josh
Ooh, you
Allen
heard the
autographed
man.
jerseys, Jalen Hurts autographed helmets. We got hockey pucks. We got baseballs. We got bats. I mean, it's going to be bananas. So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, live on Whatnot. The link is in the description below. Do me a favor, at least just come by, show some love, say hello. That'll be awesome to have.
What's the
some of
time
my-
again? One more time.
7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm in there. I'm definitely going to pull up. That's what's up. I got pretty much the day off tomorrow, too. All right, so we've given y'all enough time to be able to get your mind right for this trivia one time. And don't forget, it's the one we see over here in our chat first. I definitely almost clicked the answer first. All right, here we go. Today's trivia question is, which Giants player is one of just 13 in NFL history to catch a 99-yard touchdown pass?
How long do you think it takes people to get this one?
I think it'll be pretty fast.
No, I do not have Tom Brady's game missing Super Bowl jersey. Oh. Yeah, I mean, listen. That was quick, ladies and gentlemen. That was
Tell me
quick.
what you got. Tell me what you
I'm
got.
going to tell you right now.
All right, today's answer for today's trivia question is, in December of 2011, Victor Cruz caught a 99-yard touchdown pass from Eli Manning versus the Jets. If you remember, this was the game where Darrelle Revis was like, I don't even know who that guy is. When they asked him in the interview about Victor Cruz, he was like, I don't know who that is. He ain't about to do nothing. And Victor Cruz was like, okay.
Spike don't
99 on your ass.
And shout out to Mike K, today's winner. I saw ENA got time, said he needed that. He missed it by one slot. He was right there, man. Maybe the megabytes per second wasn't adding up with the, the files, optical cords and all that stuff. But shout out to Mike K one time. Mike K, all you got to do, man, is take a screenshot of your YouTube to let us know that that's you. You can send us a message to either Awthentik at allornothingstudios.com, or you can reach out to either one of us on Twitter. Mine's is just at Awthentik. The Beard is Tim Walk on Water 2 on Twitter. And just send us a DM. Let us know where we got to ship that out to, man, and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. Shout out to everybody who submitted the answers because, man, I saw at least 20 Victor Cruzes pop in like within seconds. I know a lot of y'all were real close on that one, but big shout out to y'all, man. We appreciate y'all joining and, submitting your answers today for the trivia segment sponsored by Over the Years Sports. Don't forget to go check out The Beard doing his sale on Whatnot tomorrow, man, with a bunch of memorabilia. That's going to be flames. I'm going to put out a couple tweets before we do that and make sure I pull up and show some love, too.
It's going to be a good time. No, Chris Peace, it was not Kenny Galladay.
Shout out Chris Peace, man. Always active, always retweeting our stuff on Twitter, man. Big supporter of the channel, man. We couldn't do that without you. And hopefully we see you at the Washington game on the 18th, man. That should be a really good one.
Oh, it's going to be
Everything
awesome.
on the line, man.
It's going to be so awesome.
I
I've
looked up
already been-
tickets last night, man. They up there, bro. They are up there. Our normal bargain in section 112. Whew, it is not looking like that.
Is it like more than a hundo?
Oh yeah, it's not peaches and cream. Definitely not. It's a problem. It's a problem. They're definitely way up there. So it might be.
See, it would-
I don't
it
know.
would-
We'll see. We might be sitting a little higher this year. We'll see.
Hey, listen, man. You know what? It's okay with me. You know,
Hey, as long as we there. That's one where we just got to
Yeah.
be there. But I'm gonna find a way to finesse. You already know. We about to finesse. We about to try to find us an authentic plug or something.
it would be so much. If it was two bills and it was just us, yeah. But we have significant others.
Yep.
So everything is multiplied times
You already
two.
I wouldn't have it no other way, man. Shout out to the
Yep.
ladies. Shout out to the
Shout
ladies.
out to the ladies.
Chris
Oh,
Peace
man.
said hit him up. So we'll hit up Chris Peace. We'll see what's up. Yeah, we'll talk on Twitter. Chris, appreciate that, fam. He
World
said I was going to
famous
guess Kenny Galladay.
trash bag wings will be in
them
effect.
things- ooh, I mean, it was the best year was when they fell on the ground.
You're a hater, man.
Hey, it's kind of like you and the Dallas Cowboys. It's a love-hate relationship, right?
All right.
Right. I've only seen the trash bag wings like 2 times. We definitely haven't seen them in the past 5 years.
No, we haven't.
Maybe
It's
we can
time.
get them things popping.
It's time.
Gotta
bring them
holler at
back.
Frank the Tank too, man. This is one where we probably want Frank
We
the
need
Tank,
Frank the Tank.
in the mix. Yeah, definitely.
I'm
All right,
gonna-
so we got just one more game, man, to go over. Big shout out to all of y'all, man, for rocking with us on this show, man. This was a really good vibe, man. I'm feeling the flow of this game, even though I'm not feeling the way that this game is going to go for my New York Giants on Sunday. But tonight, we got the Raiders taking on the Rams, man. Shout out to the graphics department one time, man. It's looking pretty fresh right there. What you thinking about this one, The Beard? I don't know the odds. I don't know who's favored in this one.
So the Raiders are favored by 6.5. The over-under is 42 points.
6.5, 42 points. What you thinking?
I mean, the Raiders should win this game, right? First of all, when I was putting this ticker together, I said, damn, the Rams are 3-9.
That's crazy.
They were in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's that Super Bowl slump, man. It happens. It definitely happens. And they lost some weapons, man. You know, the thing is that they barely crawled to the Super Bowl because they were lacking the running game, man. You know, Cam Akers had the Achilles injury last year. They signed Odell Beckham. You know, they brought in what's my man, Allen Robinson, you know, to kind of replace him, and that really didn't really work out as well as they thought it would. Matthew Stafford having a down year, Cooper Kupp on IR. If you think about it, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on. I mean, the Raiders have been playing well. I want to say they've won 3 in a row. Am I tripping?
I think so. Yeah, because they started off, they were 0-6 or something. Then they
1-6, 1-7, maybe.
Yeah, they started off tough.
Yeah, it was bad. So I mean, I think you'll probably see the Raiders win this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Rams. I mean, they don't have Aaron Donald either. I mean, the only person that's really playing is Jalen Ramsey. You know, that'll be fun to watch. Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams sort of kind of bang heads a little bit. But I'd imagine the Raiders win. I kind of think there might be some magic in the air, and the Rams maybe cover. I mean, the Raiders have pretty much, it's been down to the wire every single game they've played this year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough, but I think the Raiders probably pull it out. I'm going to say Raiders win by a final score of 24-18.
A little closer than I think I'm going to have it here. Raiders offense has really been clicking. To me, it's just very strange that they have such a bad record. I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with the schedule. The competition was a little bit tougher this year than it was last year. But Devontae Adams doing his thing over there. Josh Jacobs is the leading rusher in the whole entire NFL right now. Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. It's puzzling to me that they're really not getting more wins out of this. But I think this one will be a win. The Raiders will move to 6-7 on this one. I think we'll get to the over as well. And I think the Raiders are going to cover. Give me something like, I'm going to go 30 to 13 Raiders.
So kind of like Cowboys Texans vibe.
Yeah, a little bit like it. I mean, the Raiders are relatively healthy, man. They should be able to handle business. I think is Aaron Donald lining up in this game?
I don't think so. I thought he's been out. Yeah, that's why I think the only person who's playing is Jalen Ramsey. Hey, Cam Akers, you know, I like to see Cam Akers, you know, play well. Obviously, Kyron Williams, ex-Notre Dame running back's been getting a little burned, but Cam Akers played over 70% of the snaps last week for the Rams. So, you know, he's getting some burn, and he had a touchdown.
Did Darrell Henderson get picked up? Because they just randomly released him, remember?
I don't think – I thought he got picked up by somebody. Maybe Jacksonville picked up Darrell Henderson, I believe.
Be a good fit in, like, New England or something like that. I like his style. He's a tough runner.
Did Melvin Gordon get picked up by anybody?
Nah, I don't think Melvin Gordon got picked up. That boy, man, it's like he get to the goal line and he get the yips. It's really crazy, man. I don't know what happened to him. He was such a good running back. And you talked about it before the holdout, man. He was just like a top 3 running back. And then after that, it's just he hasn't been the same, man. Maybe that year off of football kind of ruined a little bit of his momentum, but that was a while ago. I like some of the scores I'm seeing in the chat, man. Gregory, 28-17. Beige Boy, 27-13. Kai with the 27-17. I think it'll be something like that, like somewhere around that. 2-score win for the Raiders, something like that.
I mean, the Rams, 3-9, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. They don't got their weapons, man. They really don't. And they don't have nothing to rely on either.
High five. We have a better record than the defending Super Bowl champions.
Oh, that's fire. Can't be mad at that. Cannot be mad at that.
Whoa. LeCap James.
That's not really a whoa. I mean, 17 points for the Rams is probably the whoa.
No, I think he's saying 38-17 the Rams win.
No way. Hey, maybe some Baker magic, you know, show one of them Home Depot commercials. He go up there and get riled up and win a game.
Oh, Melvin Gordon did get picked up by the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Forgot about that.
Good for him, man. They just get every running back over there. They just
get
don't
everybody.
Care.
If you get released, you might end up on the Chiefs, man.
Yeah,
might
facts,
end
man.
up on the Chiefs.
They would
It's
take
kind of
any
like
talent over there. Well, it's just 4 minutes before kickoff. This is the first Thursday night. We made it, 2-minute drill, man. Like right there. We right there.
Well, I think a lot of
one
that
less
had
game.
to do with the Cowboys playing the Texans.
That and then Washington being on the bye, too, so you got one less game. That helped out. Just 3 total games today on Thursday. But, man, we definitely appreciate all of y'all rocking with us today, man. Again, big salute to Mike K for winning that trivia segment there. A big shout-out to everybody, man, all the family in the chat, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us on this Thursday before y'all watch y'all good Thursday night football game. Any last words, Beard, before we get them up out of here?
I mean, I just want to say I wish everybody the best of luck for your teams. Like I said when I started this show, it's the first time in a very long time I felt like, Washington's going into a bye week and we're not going to have to worry about losing against the bye. Every once in a while I get these reminders of old Awthentik and The Beard episodes, and it's just like Washington 2-9 or Washington, versus the bye week. So I'm looking forward to being able to kind of sit back and watch, the Giants and the Eagles game and not have to worry about, losing my mind or my voice, my body and my soul watching Taylor Heineke play. Next time I get to do that, it's going to be live and in person. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, good luck to the Giants fans here at Awthentik and The Beard. Hopefully, you guys find a way to pull out a victory. Shout out to the Houston Texans. We'll see how things evolve this week.
Most definitely, man. Y'all know what it is over here, man. Keep living those dreams. Keep raising that bar because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Big shout out to the podcast GOAT, Combat Jack one time, and my brother Premium Pete. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all be good. Enjoy y'all Thursday night football. Go Giants. Best of luck on your body, Beard. See y'all later. Peace.